Hi everyone, good evening. I hope people are joining, but still considering the time, let's start. So on behalf of Vartana, I welcome you, all of you for this webinar. Thank you for your participation. So myself, Gayatri, I am part of Vartana's Education Solutions team. So Vartana is an NBFC and is working and also offering education solution to affordable private school for the past 10 years. We have taken multiple initiatives with the schools which are need-based. One among them is this webinar series. So we are we are offering this webinar series which aims to throw some lights on the solutions or insights based on the challenges the schools are facing post-COVID era. So today's session will be focusing on gearing your school growth post COVID-19. Before starting the session, I just have one request for all the participants. I want all of you to be actively engaging in this webinar so that we can have some learningful experience throughout this session. So in this Zoho platform, we have multiple options to engage ourselves. One is raise and hand option. So whenever you want to talk or whenever you want to clarify certain doubts with respect to the topic discussed here, you can click on that icon and then we can unmute from our end, then you can share your points. And there is a second option which is called Q&A button. You can see in your phone or laptop. It is basically a chat box. So if you want to share some inputs or some points or opinions or post some questions where you are unable to talk, then you can use this particular icon. The third one we have is a poll. So in between the session, I'll be launching certain polls. So I would encourage each one of you to participate, select the relevant option and submit it. Without any further delay, let's look at the agenda for today's. So today's agenda is that we'll do a small introduction activity and then we'll look at the session objective. Then we'll also look at what are the challenges schools are facing post-COVID. Then look at the key focus area which schools should consider while reopening and recovering. And then we'll see what are the sessions we are planning for you in the upcoming series. And then we'll close with the feedback. So for introduction, there's a small poll I have created. I'll launch the poll. I just want to understand a little more about our participants for today's session. So I'll be launching the poll. You'll be having multiple options. So you have to select a relevant option. This talks about your profile, basically your designation. If you're a school owner, please select that option. If you're a principal or teacher, or if you're from other organization, please select that. So I would encourage everyone to participate in that. I'll wait for a few more seconds. Hope everyone has posted your poll. So I'm closing the poll. Just wanted to understand our participants. So we have people from different organizations, school leaders, teachers are participating here. Good to have all of you here. So let's move on to the next thing, the objective. So today's objective is very simple but very crisp also. One is that to understand the challenges that schools are facing in this post-COVID era or post-COVID time, and also to discuss about what are the key focus area the school can consider while reopening, and then they can plan their recovering activity. And we can discuss about the upcoming session with the objective. So these are the few objectives we have. So before starting this session, I just wanted to do a small activity with all of you. Let's just say that we all have a time machine. So whoever is participating in this session are having a time machine, right? So with this time machine, we are all going back to 2019 on the same date, like August 13, 2019. If we are forgetting about what happened in 2020, 21, and 22, we are just directly jumping back to 2019. So I want everyone to reflect. You are right now in August 13, 2019, doing multiple things. You might be planning your Independence Day celebration with the students, having some practice, or you might be busy in completing the syllabus. because upcoming exams are gonna happen, or you might be doing any other work. So take a minute to reflect. The idea here is that in 2019, what are the challenges you faced in your school? I just want you to like take few seconds of your time and share what are the challenges you have faced in 2019. Forget about 21, 22, and 20 and all, right? So please share your input. Please share your input and we can like move ahead in the next. So I'll just take like 30 seconds of time. So please share your input. What are the challenges? It can be respect to any stakeholder. It can be respect to your teachers or parents or students. What are the challenges you have faced? I hope we all got some time to reflect. So let's say like what are the challenges. So I am just expecting some participants to like answer what are the challenges they face, but I have also put through some challenges which when we are working with the schools, what are the challenges we came across. In the meantime, you can also add your input. So some of the challenges which we encountered in the schools when we are working in 2019 was one of the important challenges, student engagement. Engaging them inside the classroom with a lot of activities and actively participating the students were one of the challenge. And then the second challenge was stagnation in enrollment, because every school were trying to like purchase certain particular program, trying to particularly focus on a certain areas. So there was a stagnation in enrollment was happening. And thirdly, low parent engagement, because parents are not really aware about what why their role is very very important in child's education, right? Why is their role important, how they need to participate. All of these things were leading it to low parent engagement. And then teacher training, right? Because we don't have like we didn't have an opportunity to engage our teachers with lot of unique pedagogy or techniques which can they use inside the classroom. That was also one of the challenge schools were facing. And related to teacher, they were like teacher retention challenge, quality of teachers challenge. All of these things are also we can see. And another important challenge school was facing was fee collection, because some parents were quite not serious or hesitant to pay the fees. They don't want to like spend it on their child's education, so they don't really pay fees. And then we also saw some of the schools are still struggling to like do financial planning. Though they have good finance, they don't know which area they need to focus, which resource they need to like work on. All of these challenges they were facing. And finally, I could say, with respect to school, the schools were struggling to establish a strong brand name, right? Like with respect, be like within the community or in the surroundings, they are unable to establish the strong brand name. So these are the some of the challenges the schools were facing in 2019. If you have any other challenges, please put it in the chat box, the Q&A session, and we'll also like look at that one. So let's say that we are using the same time machine and coming back to 2022, August 13, 2022. Right now, we are in this session trying to understand how can I recover my schools better, how to address all the challenges which post-COVID has thrown to us, right? In this situation, let's just see what are the different challenges the schools are facing after COVID. We know what happened in COVID 2020 and 21. So the schools were shut for like quite some time and schools were not able to function. Everyone has to go to online mode. And now schools are like in 2022, schools are like started to come back, right? Function properly. Schools are reopened. Students are slowly coming back to the school. At this time, what are the various challenges the schools are facing? So let's see that. So initially we discussed about what were the challenges schools used to face pre-COVID. Now let's see post-COVID. Discuss stakeholder wise. So let's take students. Since because of the COVID, everyone has to move to online education platform. Only 60% of the children were able to access the online opportunity. Rest of them they are not able to actively engage in the learning provided by the school. Because of this, and also online learning is not as effective as inside classroom teaching. Because of that, we can see 90% of the children in the grade from 2 to 6 have lost one language ability. What do we mean by one language ability is that their writing skills, recognizing the alphabet, understanding the word, comprehension skills, listening skill, all of these are comes under language ability. And we can also see 80% of the children have lost one math ability in the past year. What is that math ability? Doing basic arithmetic operation or recognizing a number, counting numbers, all of these things comes as a math ability. This we can see because of this COVID, we are right now sensing a huge learning gap among students of all the classes. Another important thing which we are seeing in the recent time is that most of the parents, you must have heard, maybe we can see inside our house also, right? Most of the parents are saying that they can see some behavioral changes happened in their children, right? Because of the COVID. Why? Because they used to spend a lot of time in the digital devices. They don't have proper interaction with other people. They don't have time to play, or they are not allowed to play due to safety reason. Because of this, their children seem to be little bit aggressive. They're not following any routine. They are not learning. They are like finding it them little bit different than usual. And also we can still, though we have like 2 years has been passed, we can still sense like many of the children have still have that COVID fear, because they don't know what is this new disease is about, what they have to do, what they are don't do, why their education has been like stopped, why the schools has been closed. All these questions has created a lot of fear among them, and they are also unable to share their emotions openly with others. So these are the some of the challenges the students are facing. Now, let's look at the parent criteria. Before moving on to parent criteria, I want to highlight one point. Please remember the pre-COVID challenges which we have discussed, right? So that we can relate what is happening, what happened in pre-COVID, and what this COVID has made us to do a lot of things, right? So in pre-COVID time, what is the challenge we faced with respect to student? The engagement problem. Students were not actively engaging inside the classroom. But here, we are sensing a lot of learning gaps, behavioral changes, fear among children. So all these are like new challenges which we are facing with respect to students. When it comes to parents, we can, because of this COVID, we can see that 2/3 of the households have lost the income, right? We have seen among our family or among our relatives in the surroundings, right? We can see many parents have lost the income, which account to 2/3 of households. Because of that, they are not able to like concentrate or prioritize their child education. They're unable to pay fees, because within the less income they get, they have to prioritize their livelihood, their health, and then the child's education also. All of these things they have to consider within the limited income they are getting. So that's why we are seeing like there is a shift in parents engagement and parents approach also. And we could see some parents have shifted children to a new school. This one maybe because they are not able to pay fees in private school, they have shifted to government school, or they want their children to have a better quality and safe environment. That's why they have shifted to new school. Or in case sometimes because of their job, they have lost their income or job, they have been migrated to their native. Because of that migration, we can see a lot of children has been shifted to new schools, and still parents are struggling to like cope up with the new changes, because they are the one who have to support their family and all the needs of the family. So here we can change, we can see what is the drastic change has happened. Like initially only few parents were like are not paying the fees in 2019, because they are not quite like serious about their child education, didn't want to like spend money on that. But right now the situation is totally different. It's not they don't want to spend, they do want to spend, but they don't have the income to spend. They want to prioritize their child's education, but they don't have the income. So this is what the parent situation we can see after COVID. Coming to our third important stakeholder, teachers. So initially in 2019, if you remember, the major challenges what we faced with respect to teachers is that the teacher training is not happening. to understand the latest pedagogy and teacher retention, teacher quality. These are some of the things which we faced. But now, after COVID, if you look at the data, since everything has moved to online platform and teachers are not having enough training or resources to perform well, we can say that 84% of the teachers are struggled while delivering the online instructions because they are unable to deliver properly, because they are unable to teach properly like they used to, like they used to teach it in their classroom. We can see student performance fall has also happened. 9% of fall in student performance we can see across classes post COVID. And right now, since I've said earlier, schools have started to reopen and schools are like the students are coming back. Now they have this pressure of completing the syllabus because we have less time. We have like mixed a lot of syllabus. They have to complete the syllabus. They have to prepare the child for the board examination and upcoming exams. And most importantly, our teachers have received less trainings on how to address post-COVID classes because earlier the challenges were different. Now, inside the classroom itself, you have different children at different learning levels, irrespective of whatever the grade are. They have behavioral issues. You have parent engagement issues. In this tough challenges, how to conduct a class? Those kind of training the teachers haven't received at all. So that is one important challenge with respect to teachers. Coming to school leader, if you look at the 2019 challenge, the major challenge the school leader used to face at time, like few parents didn't pay fees because they are quite hesitant and they have finance, but they don't know where to invest, how to invest, and then establishing the brand name. These are some of the challenges the school leaders were facing in 2019. But now you look at the data, which we can see right now is that around 3 million students have moved from private to government schools, right? The reason can be fee collection or the reason can be migration. But there's a huge shift from private to government school and the number is very, very huge, which is 3 million. Because of that, and there is also there is an impact in parents' income. We can see 80% of the school have faced fee collection as a major issue because parents are unable to pay the fees, right? They're unable to provide fees on time because of their income. Since they don't have proper fee collection, the school is also unable to do proper financial planning. With less resources, they don't know where to invest, how to invest, and sometimes they are not able to provide salary to the teachers also on time. That causes teacher attrition. We can see 75% of the schools have faced teacher attrition. In 2019, you can say that the teachers have moved for their career exposure or career development. But here, the teacher attrition reason is because the schools are unable to provide the salary or their health reason or their family shifted to back to their native. Lot of reasons have made the teacher to move out and even choose some other job also. Importantly, private school leaders haven't got enough opportunity or support on how to address all of these challenges. So that's why are we looking at this data is that we have to clearly understand, like pre-COVID also we face few challenges and similar challenges we are facing after COVID, right? Say be it be teacher attrition or be it be fee collection. But what is the difference is an important thing to note. Earlier, fee collection was a problem because few parents are not able to, not are hesitant to pay. Right now, fee collection is a problem because most of the parents are not able to pay because their income has been affected. Earlier, the teacher like shift from one school to other school based on their salary or exposure they want. But right now, teachers are leaving the school because they have to support their family. They have to move back to their family due to COVID condition. They are quitting their job. So though the challenges seem to be very, very similar, the context here, the situation here is quite different. Once you understand the context, we can think of ways on how to address all these challenges. We cannot use the same method which you have used in the past years because the context here is different. So now we have discussed about a lot of challenges with respect to, I just got one Q&A question. Ma'am, Rajiv sir, 3 million students across India, sir. It's not one state, it's across India data we are having. So across India, there is a shift of 3 million students from private school to government schools. So since we looked at a lot of challenges across different stakeholders, what is the way to address all these challenges? Let's look stakeholder wise with some example. So let's start with students, right? So we can relate to this example. I think everyone can relate to this example. Because of the COVID, as said earlier, we have to move to online education where children has to spend time in their digital devices. So what happened is that most of the parents used to go for work because they have to support their family. The children are left unmonitored, and they have been using this digital platform for learning and other things also. The data here shows that 36.9% of the children are spending more than 5 hours on the digital device because of the COVID, which was used to be only 1.8% of children used to spend before COVID. You can see from 1.8% of children, there's a huge jump to 36.9. So many children have exposed to digital devices and spending lot of screen time. We all know the screen, like spending a lot of screen time will have its negative impact, right? Not just that part, but here what happened is that we didn't allow our children to do any kind of outdoor activity considering their safety. In COVID times, we cannot allow them to go out or play with their friends and all, right? So since outdoor activity is restricted and the screen time has increased, there is an adverse effect in child's mental health according to the IGO report. So this is the condition. So what is the solution which we as a school can offer is that one important solution is offering psychological support. What do I mean by psychological support? Children have got into the habit of spending so much time in digital devices. They are less interacting with others, right? Be it be parents, elders, friends, right? So how to bring back that? How they can express freely about what they're thinking, what is their emotion is about, bringing back their both physical and mental health all together at the right position is the psychological support the school can offer for the children. Second important thing what we can do is that we can have a very structured interaction inside the classroom. So here teacher plays a major role. So teacher can have a lot of listening activities, interacting activities, discussing, debating, planning, group work with some safety measures being taken, involving the children to be back on that, like yes, like I'm sitting with my classmates, I'm right now working with this, I'm free to express my thoughts. So bringing them back to that interaction is very, very important. And teachers can use this opportunity inside the classroom to bring this back. Yeah. Moving on to parents, like as we have discussed a lot of challenges with respect to parents, this is an important article published by Hindu. We all can relate it. So it says that several parents in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu noted that children have lost track in their daily routine, be it be eating, be it be hygiene, be it be learning habits, be it be writing habits. We are all seen in our house also, right? Children are like struggling to write also. They don't want to write, they don't want to spend time in learning also. And since parents are working, they don't have anyone to supervise the children in this condition. Like this is the challenge the parents are facing across states. So what can be the solution for this? What we can do as a school is that we can conduct workshop for parents to understand the child mindset, what a child would have gone through in these times, because adult will be able to understand what is COVID, what is its impact, why certain things has been put down like this, right? But for children we need to understand what's going around, and also strategies for parents on how to like maintain that behavior inside home or at home, right? Child's behavior, like what are strategies or tips they can follow. And we should have some bi-weekly meeting with the parents on the update of the child's behavior, like how the child has behavior has been changed, whether this strategy is actually working, or should we rethink of these strategies. Third thing is that conducting a workshop on the importance of nutrition, because these are the times where everyone is little bit aware about hygiene, nutrition, health, safety. So use this opportunity to like bring that importance of nutrition and how it will affect the learning abilities of the child. And also most importantly, involve your parents in building or planning whenever your safe learning environment in your school, because that's when parents will get a lot of confidence about your school. Yes, my school is taking a lot of steps to ensure there is a safe learning happening, so they will bring back the students back to your school. So these are the some of the methods which you can follow. Now, when we are looking at the third stakeholder, teachers. So this all the teachers and school leader can agree to this particular case study, which UNICEF has given a report on that. So there was one teacher in Bihar who was mentioned this particular thing was happening. Her school did organize online classroom learning using Google Meet, but only 40 to 50% of the children able to participate because others don't have the resources. There is a lack of resources. So what happens, though the technology is good and this is the right way we can emphasize learning in the COVID time, not everyone got access to the resources. This had put a limit on the learning. Because of the digital divide, the learning gaps have been increased. So this is the UNICEF report. We can always see in our classroom also the learning gaps has been increased. So what we can do with respect to that is that very first thing as a school, what we can do is like conduct a workshop on redesigning the pedagogy. Right now you need to come up with an approach where inside a classroom of 50 students, like each and everyone are hiring in the different learning levels. How do you engage everyone in the same classroom of different learning levels effectively? So you have to redesign your pedagogy. And second one is your accelerated learning program, because we are also in a hurry to complete syllabus and prepare them for the board. These kind of small initiatives every day in the timetable will help you to bring the students back to their learning level. This is basically remedial education which you can offer to the students on a regular basis. The important thing is that this corona had made certain particular group of people more vulnerable, right? You need to identify them. For example, girl children in the higher class may drop out the education to support their family, or even the even girls or boys, whoever want to support the family, they might drop out. So we need to identify, counsel them, and bring them back to the school to avoid the dropout. And fourth one, importantly, as I said earlier, teachers play a major role. So teachers should be equipped, or teachers should be trained on ways to do psychosocial needs of the children. So what do we mean by psychosocial? We looked at the psychological support. Psychosocial basically means apart from the psychological support, we need to encourage children to have regular interaction with the society, be their parents, elders, friends, bringing back that interaction, bringing them social. It's what psychosocial basically means. So that needs to be done within the school. Important one is our school owners. So school owners, this is the challenge which almost all the private school owners have faced in the COVID time. Yes. So here we can see many parents, because their income has been affected due to COVID, they've shifted the children to the government school, saying that they are not able to afford private school ka fees, right? So though school owners have did tried some methods, what are the other methods they can do, or they can take a note of it, so that they bring back the students to the school? One thing is that better financial planning. Earlier also we talked about financial planning, but what is the difference after COVID is that here you have a limited resources, right? Within that limited resources, which are the areas you're going to focus? Because right now there are multiple areas. I'll talk about it detailedly in the next session, and we also have a separate workshop about financial planning, right? So doing better financial planning. And second one, opting for programs like smart fee program, so which helps you to collect fees from the parents, and then investing in the marketing events to show what are the different efforts or programs your school is like launched after COVID. And then you can do teacher recruitment drive to bring back quality teachers to their schools. Some of these, as I mentioned earlier, some of these solutions you might tried earlier, but why I'm asking you to try again is that the challenge we are facing is quite different in its context. So we have to focus on all these things, so that entirely we can emerge stronger. Our school can emerge stronger. So we discussed about what is the challenge and how to address these challenges. Let's also talk about, is there any key focus area that school can focus so that all these challenges can be addressed and they can emerge stronger. So we do have certain key focus area. This is our second objective, which talks about planning for school reopening. So here, reopening, I don't mean simply like opening your school gates, asking children to come inside the classroom. Absolutely not. This is reopen come recovery. Your school need to recover from the impact of the COVID. It needs to emerge stronger, right? Whatever your school condition in 2019, more than that, your school need to come back stronger. So what are the areas you can focus so that you can build your school back better is what we are going to discuss. There are 5 key focus areas. So one is engaging communities in the school reopening plan. We will see each and everything in detail. And second one is targeting resources at most needed places. Third one is getting children back to school. Fourth one is providing a safe school environment. And fifth one is recovering learning loss and building back better. So these are the 5 key focus area we are going to discuss in detail. So let's look at each one of them and understand why it is important, right? And what are the steps you can take and what are the results we can expect. Some of you might be thinking like, yes, I am doing community. I just got a question. I'll just address that. Sir, I'll talk about Smart Free program at the end of this session, sir. I'll definitely give a brief introduction about that. And then moving, yeah. Some of you might be thinking that I'm doing community engagement at my school. I'm inviting parents like for Independence Day or Republic Day or Teachers Day. That's how I engage my community, right? I've been doing it in the before COVID. I'm doing it in the past. I mean, after COVID also. Why it is like key focus area? You might be having all these questions, right? I'll tell you what is the difference here. Yes, you might be involving a community in certain celebration, but it's not just about involving them in the certain celebration. Their involvement need to be become stronger, right? See, I'll just tell you the reasons and I'll just support you with the data. We can see that the parent involvement has been decreased to 23% when children reach middle school. This data, again, this will fall when the children move to high school or higher secondary also. But if you observe, in COVID times, we have seen some parents are getting little bit aware about their role in child's education, right? Some are little bit focusing. They did understand what is struggle the teacher used to face inside the classroom. So this is very, very, I would say it's a benefit for us to like bring back that trend where we involve parents in child learning. And second, the research also shows that the increased parent or community engagement will bring back the literacy acquisition and can increase enrollment and decrease dropout. But how it is possible? It's that so you are developing that trust in the community, right? And you are making each one of the person in the community that yes, this is my school. I'm responsible for that. I'll make sure that my school achieves certain goals. This is the kind of trust and reliable you have to establish within your community. So how can you do that? Is that one, involve them in your reopening activities so that your school knows that yes, this particular school in our community is back to function. They have taken few important steps because of the COVID to address, make sure the environment is safe, make sure they have appointed quality teachers, make sure they're implemented important programs for the children. So involve them all these reopening activities so that they know what's happening in the school and they'll become word of mouth for you. Second one, engaging parent committees can increase the relevance of plans. You might be having PTM meeting or PTA association earlier to discuss about child's like goals or child's behavior or child's achievement. But here, involving them in each and every activities. So be it reopening activities, be it your exam plan, if you're thinking of any new program, if you're thinking of any new activity for your children of particular grade, involve the parent so that they know what all the steps you are taking inside the school and they will encourage others also to participate. Third important thing is that apart from inviting them for all these celebration, it is important to bring back that trend of involving your community or parent in child's learning. How to do that? One simple way is that you can ask your community people, any one of them, be it any one of them, right? They can come on particular day, they can share their experience, whatever field they are expertise it, right? They can share their life learning, their experience. Not just academic skill matters, all the life skill matters. So you can make sure your children get that through the community. Why? Because the children will be able to relate to that particular person, because they are seeing that person in their community all the time. They know what kind of work this particular person does, so they will act as an inspiration. That will bring a lot of confidence in the child also. So these are some of the initiatives you can take within your community. And what are the result we can expect out of this is that, one, your school will have a stronger reputation. Without doing any like lot of investment on marketing activities, involving your community will help you to build that reputation, because you have involved them in each and every activity, so that they have developed this reliability, they have developed this trust. So they know this is my school. I'll encourage my children or my related children inside or around this surrounding to be in this school, to like get admission in this school. And then once you involve them, you'll also get an opportunity to understand what is your community need, because it's important. Your children are coming from that community, right? So once you understand that community need, you will think of program, or you will think of ways how to address the needs of the children. Community needs will anyway reflect on the child needs also. Then you can see there is an improvement in attendance and behavior, because parents are taking that responsibility of making sure they bring the children back. They know what's happening inside the school. They feel they are responsible for bringing the children back. This will also increase the student achievement. So please clearly understand, this is not regular community engagement which we are asking you to do. This is a different angle you have to look at after COVID, right? And then when we see the second one, resource allocation. Why this resource allocation is important? As I mentioned earlier, sorry, as I mentioned earlier, we have very less resources, be it be manpower or be it be finance. Because of the COVID, school doesn't have a lot of resources to like think of a lot of program. We have very limited resources. Within that limited resources, we have to take multiple steps or initiatives, because earlier the challenges were different. Now the challenges are different, right? You need to spend on workshop on psychological support for your children, and trainings for your teachers for the how to approach post COVID classes. You need to conduct workshops. So you might be thinking of conducting workshop for your community on their hygiene and safety, because you care for them, and like that's how you build the community engagement. So these are the new activities which you need to think about because of this COVID period. So all these things, you need to like carefully allocate the resources, so that you're also achieving what is the set goal of your school. How to do that? Like how to make sure you are allocating the resource properly, though we have new initiative to be taken. One is that because of this COVID, we know what are the risk factors has been erased, right? So consider those risk factors first as your priority. For example, student attendance, student teacher ratio. Like you need to invest on like quality teachers. You need to bring back teachers, and then you need to also think about your community participation in health and safety way. So conducting workshop or guidance for the community, or conducting workshop for the parents for the behavior management, all of these things, and addressing the vulnerable group. So these are the underlying risks which we have because of the COVID. So once you know these risks, you will prioritize properly. How to prioritize? You need to take data driven decision. It cannot be like 1 or 2% suggestion saying like, let's focus on attendance, let's focus on workshop for the community on health and hygiene, right? It cannot be like that way at all. Right now you have to be in a phase that where you are able to take data driven decision. How to take that? Take some simple survey, do some simple survey with respect to all the stakeholders to understand their need. Analyze this data and then take decision. Then you'll know, okay, right now doing the workshop with the community is important, or doing a marketing campaign for the admission is important. and teacher recruitment will be important. You'll have your data to support all of these things, right? And then thirdly, because of the COVID, we are in a position to rework on our infrastructure, but we don't have a lot of finance on like investing on new building. What you can do, whatever you're having an existing building, you can come up with an innovative solution on like using the space properly and safely to accommodate a safe learning. So these are the things which you can do. And what are the results we can expect when you do resource allocation properly is that you will have a sustainable practice of resource allocation. Why? Because of the COVID, there are a lot of new challenges we are facing, lot of new area we have to focus, but I am taking decision based on the data driven. This makes a sustainable practice, and it will also have a significant improvement in your school turnaround, and you will be able to achieve your goals. So this is the importance of resource allocation. Yeah. Now, coming to your third point, like getting children back to school. I know most of the school leaders are like quite eager to bring your children back to school, right? In this case, right, I'm just going to talk about why it is important, but I also like to hear from the audience how we can do it. Yeah. So let me show you why being getting children back to school is important. Of course, increasing our re-enrollment or increasing our admission is there, but apart from this, there is some certain alarming data we can see which we need to focus. One, schools were closed for like more than 18 months because of COVID, and 40% of the children cannot access the online learning opportunity. And we also see that since it's online, 90% of the teachers were unable to conduct a proper assessment. Without proper assessment, you will not be able to evaluate what is the learning the child has got because of this class or because of this concept. What is their learning level has improved or not. So assessment was lacking. And then the data says that for at least 3 months school closure, the child will be able to lose 1 year of learning. These are like quite alarming data, which we can see that that's the reason why we have to get the children back. Now, since you are quite experienced in getting children back to the school, I want to know few responses from the audience. What are the ways or how, which steps can be taken to bring students back? What are the steps can be taken to bring students back? I like to know from the audience. Can anyone raise your hand so that I can like unmute and you can like share your thoughts? You might have taken these steps in your schools also. Just wanted to know like what are the steps need to be taken. I can see one raised hand. Farid, sir, I'm just unmuting you. You'll be getting an option to unmute your microphone, sir. So just unmute so that you can talk. Farid, sir, are you able to unmute? Sir, can you hear me?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes. Yes, sir, you are.
I think two things can be done. One is giving scholarship to the needy students, and the
Okay.
second one is to add a lot of activities like sports into the
Yes.
regular curriculum, which will attract the student. Not only getting back to the school, but also the learning loss and the emotional attachment with the other students, and all those skills can be learned through the sports. I believe these
Wonderful.
two things can help.
I think
Thank you.
that's a great suggestions from your end, sir. Thank you so much, Farid, sir. Would anyone like to add some points to Farid, sir, or would you have you tried any other ways? I'll just wait for a few seconds, like if anybody likes to like answer or share your thoughts. Okay. So please let me know if you like want to share your thoughts so that I can unmute you. So like similar to what Farid sir had told, I've also thought about how can we implement this, right? How can we get the children back? So these are few points which we came up with. One, involving your community in your marketing strategies, right? So for example, if you're doing some school campaign, involve your community. That will make your school reliable one, a trustable one. because a community is speaking for you. It's not your teachers or it's not your school manager speaking about your school. It's community who's speaking for you, which means that will definitely increase your school reliability. And second thing, rethink your marketing strategies. We have covered very detailedly in this previous webinar. How can you think of your marketing strategies? And third, as sir mentioned, think of fee waivers or discounts. You can give scholarship to the students who are who are in need, or you can think of some discounts. Fourth one, similar to what sir mentioned, sir has mentioned that sports need to be brought back, like children need to be in the sports. Along with that, you can plan some exciting activities for children on weekly base or bi-weekly base, so that they are quite excited to come back to school and play with their friends or with their classmates, right? Finally, you can implement need-based program. As I said earlier in the community engagement, once you involve your community, you will know their need, thereby you know the student need, so that you can choose the right program. This program not only will be helpful for the children, but will also attract the parents. In that way, you can definitely get the children back to your school. And what is the result we can expect out of is that one, absolutely we can see increase in your enrollment or decrease in dropout. Since your community is talking for your school, there will be an increase in admission. Third important thing is that 2 years students have been sitting at home and learning, right? Now they have been back to the school, so that transition need to be very smooth, so that children are quite confident, also willing to learn, and like dropping all the fears. So these are the results which we can expect. I have seen another person as raising hand, I think Mahavir sir. I'm just going to unmute you, sir. You will get an option to unmute. Please unmute and share your points, sir. Let's wait for a few for seconds. Sir, are you able to unmute yourself, sir? Mahavi, sir? You'll be getting a microphone option, sir, which you have to unmute so that you'll be able to speak. Okay, in the meantime, I'll just move to the next important key focus area. Mahavi, sir, you can share your, whenever you're able to unmute your, yes, I can see you unmuted. Sir, can you speak now? Okay. I think sir, you can share your points whenever you're able to unmute. I'll move to this fourth key focus area. So the fourth key focus area here is that providing safe school environment, right? Here, I'm just going to take a pause, right? I want to hear from any of the people in the audience why it is important to provide a safe school environment at this point, right? Initially, you haven't thought about safe school environment as a key focus area, but after COVID, why it is important? Can anyone share your points or put it in the chat box also, if you're able to? Like, why do you think we have to establish this safe school environment, and what is it with respect to like school planning and recovering? Can anyone say why is it important? Okay, you can put it in the chat box also. Please raise, if you want to share your points, please raise your hand so that we'll be able to like unmute from our end. I'll just randomly ask people. I can see Arulmuri Varman. Sir, could you share some views on like how do you think, why do you think this will be important? Like providing safe school environment. You can unmute from your end, sir, like, and you can talk about these points. I saw some points. Parents' concern has increased. Thank you, Rajiv sir. So that's a very important point, right? Parents are like in these days are very, very concerned about their child's health and safety. That's an important reason. And Farid sir has shared to build trust of the parents to follow guidelines issued by the education department. Absolutely. We have to function with all the guidelines followed, which are issued by the education department, also building the trust of the parents. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing your inputs, Rajiv sir and Farid sir. I'll just share what my inputs are on this. So one, as sir mentioned, as Rajiv sir and both Farid sir had mentioned, so this particular COVID has created a lot of fear among parents and students, right? Parents are like, they don't want to take any health risk with respect to their child at all. Like they don't want to take any kind of risk. And in because of that, they are preferring online education also. Because they do know online education is not very effective, but because of the health risk, they are opting for online education thing. And then lack of social emotional support to the children, for parents or for teachers, for elders, anyone, this particular disease and pandemic is quite new. So for children also it's very new. So we don't have enough like idea on how to support children socio emotionally. This has caused lot of behavior changes among the students in because of the pandemic, right? So what we can do, like what are this, how can we bring this back, what are the steps we can take from our end, is that one, you can organize a school-based hygiene promotion. What do we mean by that? You can conduct a workshop for the whole community involving all the parents on emphasizing on like why hygiene is important at this time and what are the steps your school is taking to make sure the hygiene and health and safety is ensured, and what are the routines you can follow inside the school your child, I mean your student has to follow inside the school. All these will increase the confidence of the parents. Yes, my child is studying in a very safe environment, the school is taking lot of safety steps, hygiene steps to ensure. Second thing, you can have this school based screening for like fever and cough, right? Like you can like do it on a daily basis also. And third, that will help reduce the health risk also. Third thing, you can support your teachers or any other staffs in your school on and training them on the how to support psychosocial need of the child. I've already told about what is psychosocial, like making sure that your teachers and other staffs are trained and they're able to able to support the students. Fourth important, there is, you can see there will be different kind of support required for gender wise or age wise. I'll just give an example for higher students, right? For like 10th or 11th students, they will be in a lot of fear what to do next, because 2 years are gone in online education. Next year they have to face board examination. So after board, what's next, what are the next steps, am I able to, because right now they have a lot of question in their learning abilities only, am I able to be pass or am I able to score higher marks? All these fear need to be addressed. And if you take the kindergarten students, say for example class 1 children, for the first time they are coming to the school because LKG and UKG has gone in online learning. For the first time they are coming to the school, but they are in grade 1. Their behavior will be similar to an LKG children, but the grade is different. The expectation from the grade 1 child will be different. So how to support all these things need to be addressed. Most importantly, conduct workshop for parents, because your parents need to know what are the steps the school is taking and what is the result we can expect out of it. Is that one, your health, you can reduce the health risk, and second thing is that you can increase the confidence among all the stakeholders, be it teachers, staffs and students, parents, community, everyone will have a lot of confidence in sending their children or coming to your school or being a part of your school. They'll have a lot of confidence because you're providing a very safe environment. This will absolutely improve the student attendance because parents are like quite confident, like my child can have a proper education in a safe environment. This will also increase your parent engagement. So these are the some steps you can take with respect to providing a like safe environment. Recovering learning loss, I think one of the sir has mentioned that we can take steps on recovering learning loss also. So let's look at some more data why this need to be addressed at this particular type particular time. One, I've already told you that 90% of the children have lost one language learning ability, and 80% of the children have lost one math learning ability because of this school closure, and entirely they have shifted to online learning platform where not everyone is able to access the resources. Third important thing which you can see in the data is that 75% of the parents have said that though they have access to the digital device, the child have been learning less. Why? Because they don't follow any routine. It's not like something we follow inside the classroom. The teacher take lot of responsibility establishing the routine, like particular habits, discipline inside the classroom. The child gets to know what they are learning. They sit along with their peer, so they have a lot of opportunity to learn better inside the classroom. When it comes to digital device and online learning, we can see most of the parents are saying that their children are learning less comparatively. So what we can do, like what are the steps you can take? How can we recover the learning loss? First thing is that you need to assess the current learning level of the children, because right, schools have opened, you might have a lot of pressure in completing syllabus and board examination. Without building a strong basic, we cannot go to the next grade level content. So you should know what is the learning level of the children. It might be different from their grade. They can be in grade 5, but still their learning level is at grade 3, which is quite possible. Then you can plan remedial education program, like what is the appropriate remedial program your school can bring to the students. Third thing, as mentioned earlier, you can think of some accelerated learning initiatives so that you can take some steps to ensure the learning gap is being mitigated. Fourth one, you can redesign the curriculum based on the learning level of the child and need of your school and the syllabus you're opting it. What are the results we can expect out of it? Like major one, the important one is that you can mitigate the learning gap or learning loss. Since you are building, you are helping the child to recover the lost or the past previous knowledge. You are helping them to recall all the basic concepts. You are helping them to build a strong foundation, be it any subject, literacy, numeracy, or any subject. You are helping them to build the foundation very strong. It will help them to learn the other grades or upcoming grades in the future very smoothly. So the learning trends can be strengthened by mitigating all of these losses. So I'm just gonna take a pause here. I'm just going to launch a poll. So far, we have discussed 5 important key focus area, right? But I wanted to know from your opinion of all these 5 areas, which one is the highest priority for your school, right? We have discussed 5 things. So I'm going to launch a poll. You will have multiple, you will have 5 options. Select the highest priority for your school, which you like to focus. I'm expecting few more points. I'll just take few more seconds. Like you can take few more seconds. Please select the option you think is suitable for your school, which will be your highest key focus area. Okay, I'm going to publish the result. As you can see, like many of the, I'm quite surprised to see that most of the school leaders said learning loss, like recovering the learning loss is an important step, followed by community engagement, and then followed by getting children back to school. So why, so I'm just gonna hide these results. So why I wanted to like understand your perspective is that all these 5 key focus area will ultimately bring one final result, is that building your school back better, emerging in a stronger way. So that's the ultimate idea. Before moving on, I just had one Q&A question here. Rajesh sir saying redesigning curriculum is a long drawn process. Absolutely, sir. No denial in that. So redesigning curriculum is a very, very long process. I'm asking you to like take small steps and think what are the simple ways you can think. It's not like entire curriculum you need to change. Right now, you know what is the current learning level of the child. what are the steps or what are the syllabus you need to focus to make sure that they understand the current grade content. That's the curriculum I'm talking about, not the entire curriculum. Yes. So here, since I talked about these five key focus area, I'll also like to share a small handout for all of you. We'll share this handout with all of you in mail also. So this is a handout which I like to share. So here, what we did is that, I hope you can see the handout screen. Yes. Okay. So what you can see is that from our experience and from our exposure with different affordable private schools, we have put down list of sample activity the schools can take with respect to each key focus area. If you see, there are like five key focus area, and I've mentioned a lot of activities. One is that including the community in reopening activities, and then involving community in school celebration, having PTA monthly meeting with different agenda, organizing workshop for the community on their needs like hygiene or something, scheduling a day with community for like having the community involving in child's learning. So like this have put down like a lot of activities under each key focus area. So what you will be doing is that once you know what is the key challenge your school is facing, which are the areas need to face, which are the areas you need to focus, and what are the activities you can conduct. You can use these activities or you can think of some other activities which is applicable to you. And then the second page will talk about the checklist or the plan. So here you can see under each key focus area I've given activity. So you can here write down the activity which you would like to conduct for community engagement. Say that I'm planning every second Saturday as a community learning program where I'll invite one person from the community to talk about, or I can take my students to the community with all safety measures to ensure that they learn from the community. And what is the time period you're thinking of to conduct this? Like I'm going to focus on this particular community engagement from August to October, or any particular timeline which you think will be most beneficial. And status of the same, whether you are be able to complete it or you are like planning or postponed it. Then remarks. This is important thing. After doing any activity, do some reflection and see and put down under remarks like what is the learning you got from out of this particular activity. Was it beneficial? What are the changes you need to do? Or you can think something others also. So these are the five key focus area. I've made the handout. We will share this handout with all of you also. I'll put the link also in the chat box. I'm going to end sharing. I'll share my PPT again. So you can see, I'll just post the handout link for all of you for your reference. So you can like download and you can use it for your school also. This is the link I posted in the chat box for the handout. Yeah. Now, moving on to the last objective. So far, we discussed about a lot of challenges, ways to address, what are the key focus area and you need to focus so that you address all challenges and overcome these things, right? But we are also wanted to tell you the good news that we are also have planned right through like what are the upcoming sessions we can offer to the school so that they are able to address these challenges and they're able to like build their school back better. Before understanding what are the upcoming sessions which we like to offer from our end, I just want to tell one important or emphasize on one important point. Though COVID has posted or has given us a lot of challenges, a lot of difficult times, right? But it has given us an opportunity to reimagine your school in the post-COVID era. What I'm saying by that is that, for example, before COVID, you might be thinking on few areas only and you might be working on those areas. Now, after COVID, everyone has got an opportunity to rework, reimagine, rethink of new things to bring to their school according to the community need or stakeholder need. So use this opportunity to work on all those areas which you wanted to work for a long time, and that's bring the school back better. Now let's see, according, so we have decided like with respect to stakeholder wise, let's see what are the sessions Partana will be offering in this webinar series in the upcoming days. So one is that with respect to school leader, a lot of sessions we are planning, but I just tell you the gist of it. Sir, I just sorry, sir. I'm just gonna like mute. I just heard some disturbance. I'm just gonna mute them. Okay. Yeah. With respect to school leader, so national education policy. What is this NEPS? What is its implication? How we can implement in our affordable private school with all the resources. Then the session about financial planning, which I also told it's one of the challenges the schools are facing in this COVID time. So how can you effectively plan your finance in these tough times? And what is the roadmap for growth? What are the few milestones you have to consider? What are the important steps you have to take as a school? And then workshop for your school management and administration to function properly, and what are the strategies to increase your parent engagement. And some of the session focusing on the teacher stakeholder will be like teacher training session. As said earlier in one of the solution, that teacher need to be trained on how to conduct post COVID classes. So we will be offering sessions for the same also in the upcoming days. And then how to develop and manage engaging content, what need to be done on learning loss and recovery, how to strengthen the foundational literacy and numeracy. Coming to students, like since they have a lot of questions and a lot of uncertainty about a lot of things, career planning workshop for them, and how to address their behavior management and what are the steps can be taken, how to increase student enrollment and how to increase student engagement within the classroom also. And finally, our stakeholders, parents, with respect to them, why child psychology is important, what are the roles of a parent, what are the parenting techniques and tips they can follow so that their child becomes a successful one. So these are the sessions which we thought through will be useful for all the school leaders to address various challenges we have discussed in this previous slides. But I also like to know what are the other sessions from you, what are the other session you want us to focus on. Like it can be related to any other stakeholders, but what a session you would like to focus on in the future, please put it in the chat box. We will definitely consider that. One thing I got is like counseling for children. Yes, sir, absolutely. We can, one second. We can think of counseling for children, counseling for parents, teacher training. Yes, absolutely. We are including teacher training, sir, because this post-COVID times, teacher need to be, they need to be empowered with all the pedagogies. Counseling for parents, we will try to cover it in the parent-child psychology. Counseling for children, we'll try to cover it in the career workshop. Parenting, yes, absolutely. We are doing that also, sir. If anybody wants if anybody has any other suggestion, please put it in the chat box. Okay. Farid sir, I'll just come to your point in a while. I'll just complete it and come to your point. So if anyone else having any other important session you want us to conduct, please share that. Session for non-teaching staff. Is that you're saying, Ramesh sir? Session for non-teaching staff. We have noted down all of these things. So we will like get back to you on what are the upcoming session. In the meantime, what I'll do, I'll share a link with all of you. So this is the webinar link where you can register for the upcoming webinar in advance. So in the chat box, I'm just going to share a link. I've just shared it. Use this link. Go like you can click on this link and can see what are the upcoming webinar and what are the completed webinars. So for upcoming webinar, you can definitely register in advance so that you know and you can plan your day accordingly. Moving on to the next thing, I just wanted to like also give a brief about, though we talked about a lot of challenges and solution, from Bhartana end also we are providing some solution to address certain challenges. One of the solution is Unlock School program. I'm sure like most of you are aware about it. It's a remedial program we are offering to class 1 to 8, where we are providing remedial material for both English and Maths with all the with all the syllabus and curriculum included in a very engaging way. And second one is Smart Fee program. I think some of you have asked about this program. I'll explain a little bit on this. So this is a program which Vartana has launched to support the school in fee collection. How are we doing is that we will enroll parents in this particular with the help of the school, will enroll parents in this particular program. Their entire fee collection will be on monthly basis. It's like an EMI with a zero interest rate. So they'll be paying the fees in EMI, whereas the school will be getting the lump sum amount in the given intervals. So here we are removing the burden from the parents on fee payment, making them to pay small amount at a time, and also ensuring the schools are receiving on time cash flow. So what I would say is that if you are interested in any of this program, or if you want to raise certain like if you want to know about a lot of other things which Vartana is offering, please feel free to write to our mail ID at hello@vartana.com, or you can contact our customer experience team with the given number. I would request everyone to just take a snap of this, like a photo of this, so that you can reach out to us either in mail or either in the given contact number, and you can, if you are interested, you can share what is the thing you wanted to know.